Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And the biggest news this week, quite literally so, was the completion ceremony of the life-sized, no longer moving RX-78F00/E Gundam. Before they put the head on it, they blessed it with a Jotoshiki ceremony, which is like a Japanese tradition for the safe construction of a building. Although knowing Gundam, maybe they would have been better off doing a ceremony against stealing the thing. But after the ceremony was completed, the head was hoisted up and safely installed on the torso. More information about what gimmicks will be installed in it will be unveiled at a later date. Next up then was Requiem for Vengeance, which overall seems to have been doing very well with the fans, especially for a Western-produced anime/Gundam series, because we all know the bad examples. On the global Netflix rankings, it shot up to 7th place, and in Japan, it even managed to go all the way up to 2nd place. And alongside this, they also announced some new goodies. The soundtrack will be available on many digital music distribution services like Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, etc. And we also got the announcement for the premium Bandai Limited Chogokin Gundam EX. It goes for a pretty hefty 33,000 yen, 216 US, but it does come with a large amount of accessories and gimmicks. We've got its standard shield, the Gatling gun, beam rifle, and 3 beam sabers, which come with some really nicely detailed beam saber blade effect parts. And on top of that, we're also getting the hyper bazooka that it borrowed from the gym. And for gimmicks, we are of course getting die-cast parts for the armor and the joints, as well as LEDs for the eyes. Perfect for giving the Zeke some PTSD. And all of this can be yours in June. Continuing with the figure news then, pre-orders have gone up for the G-Frame Full Armor 08th MS Team Special Selection Set, which, despite special being in the name, is not a premium Bandai exclusive set, but is a regular set, so you can get it from standard hobby stores like Hobbling Japan, linked down below. Included in the lineup are the EZ-8, the Ground Gundam the Goof Custom, and the Ground Gym, and as per usual, each mobile suit is split up into 2 sets. The armor set, which comes with the armor and a non-moving inner frame, and the frame set, which comes with a movable frame and also some extra accessories and weapons. So, in the EZ-8 set, we're getting a beam saber, beam rifle, bazooka, and the strengthened ground-type shield. In the Ground Gundam set, we're getting the 180mm cannon, 100mm machine gun, standard ground-type shield with optional bipod, a beam saber, and a ground gym head, to of course replicate Karen's Gym Head Gundam. For the Goof Custom, there's the Heat Sword, grappling hook, and a Gatling shield with triple-barreled machine gun. And finally, the Ground Gym comes with a beam saber, standard ground-type shield, missile launcher, and net gun. The sets go for 748 yen each, 5 US, making it 10 US for a full figure, and they're also available as 10 packs. Which is also how you can get the 9th lineup of the Mobility Joined Gundam series, which will be releasing in March. The figures go for 715 yen each, 5 US, and the lineup consists of the Zeta Gundam with beam rifle and shield, the Mk.II AEUG colors, also with beam rifle and shield, the Hyakushiki with just a beam rifle, the Gundam Mk.II Titans colors with a beam rifle, shield, and the number 3 on its shoulder, a set of X parts for the Zeta Gundam, which comes with parts for its transformation and the Hyper Mega Launcher, the G Defensor, X parts for the Hyakushiki to turn it into the mass production version, although in the image it does still have the standard backpack, and finally X parts for both of the Gundam Mk.IIs, with 2 Vulcan Pod earmuffs, 2 Hyper Bazookas, a white beam saber for the AEUG version, a blue beam saber for the Titans version, and shoulder parts with number 1 and 2, also for the Titans version. On the Gunpla front then, we got some more official images for the Gundam-based limited high-grade G-Self Perfect Pack Reconguista in G, the movie version, which will be releasing on October the 26th. But for anyone planning to snag it on the day of release, from October the 25th until the 27th, you can only enter the Gundam Base Tokyo if you got an online ticket beforehand. And unfortunately, this lottery-based system is already closed for those days. For any other date though, it is just free entrance like any other normal store. And I also have to make a correction for something that I said last week. One of the new kits that they showed off at the All Japan Model and Hobby Show 2024 was the real great new Gundam double fin funnel type. And as some of you correctly pointed out, I was a bit too quick to say that the only difference with the standard release was the beam rifle. Because it also has a different head with different intakes, the shoulders are different, the front skirts are different, it has a different top piece on the chest, and different vents. And it even looks like the fin funnel connectors are slightly different because there is no orange on them. And then some other things that were announced were the premium Bandai Limited Shin SD Gundam Gaiden Night Gundam Monogatari Superior Dragon Edition card asset for 6,600 yen, 43 US. It comes with 40 cards and a binder to put them in, which can be yours in January. And next up, we have some Gundam Seed Freedom and Witch from Mercury things from Japanese 7-Eleven that will become available on November the 5th. For 3,179 yen, 21 US, you can get a stainless steel tumbler with Kira and the Mighty Strike Freedom, Atheron and the Justice Type 2, Ursuleta, Mirine and the Ariel. And for 2,750 yen, 18 US, you can get a black Gundam Seed Freedom pouch or a white Witch from Mercury pouch, which on the inside has a really nice design with Gunpla parts of their respective series. And staying with Gundam Seed Freedom, tickets have gone up for sale for the Gundam Seed Freedom X Tower Records Café, which will be opening up from November the 28th until December the 20th. Same-day tickets will also be available, but of course their availability will vary depending on how many online pre-order tickets were sold. Meanwhile, on the gaming front, in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PlayStation, the Gundam X has joined the fray, as well as a new map called Resort Development District, while on Steam, the Engage Zero Yon Faven has become available. But that is not all. They also released a new developer's diary in which they announced that the God Gundam will become available on the Steam version at some point this year. In UC Engage then, there's a new combat power augmentation operation, a raid battle against the Psycho Gundam, and the UR Gotterlaton and UR Cartagena Luz have become available as event unit assemblies. But arguably the biggest gaming news this week comes to us through Gundam Breaker 4. The first set of story and mission DLC has been released and includes 4 new mobile suits, being the Crossbone Gundam X1 Full Cloth, Penelope, Sengoku Stray Gundam, and 00 Quanta Full Saber, 3 new story missions, and 1 new quest. And they also announced that the next 3 will be dropping in 1-week intervals. So October the 31st, November the 7th, and November the 14th. And on top of that, we also got the first diorama DLC, being the Colony set. It consists of 2 backgrounds, Site 7 and Colony Debris, 10 objects like a colony outer wall, a colony hatch, etc., and 15 posters with the main visuals of several Gundam series and movies. And in other news, the Hobby Japan 55th Anniversary Festival is held at the Akiba Culture Zone, which will of course include a bunch of Gunpla displays. And from November the 18th until the 22nd, the CGWorld 2024 Creative Conference is held, where on the last day, a session about the making of Silver Phantom will be held. As for the things you could get this week then, on the 19th, we got quite a selection, starting with the Gunpla. For 2,750 yen, 18 US, there was the high-grade Murasame Kai, which is a nice-looking mobile suit with an amazing-looking transformation. And on top of that, we're getting a beam rifle, a beam saber, a shield, a bunch of missiles, and 2 drop tanks. And then for 2,090 yen a piece, 14 US, you can either get the high-grade Gundam X or high-grade Zaku-2 F-Type Solari. The Zaku comes with its trusty machine gun, heat hawk, and leg-mounted missile launcher, as well as a movable eye and various marking stickers that include both markings and dirt for on the machine. Meanwhile, the Gundam comes packing with its beam rifle, 3 beam sabers with 2 beam saber blade effect parts, and a shield, as well as an ammo belt made out of soft material, allowing for easy movements of the Gatling gun, a movable rack for the beam saber, and also a bunch of marking stickers. And of course, both kits are absolutely packed with details, making them a real love it or hate it kind of aesthetic. Next up, we've got the Robot Spirits Gundam Mk.II AEUG Colors version anime, which goes for 9,350 yen, 62 US. And for that price, it comes complete with a bazooka, which comes with a spare ammo cartridge and firing effect part, a beam rifle which comes with 2 spare E-packs and a firing effect part, 2 beam sabers which come with 2 standard beam saber blade effect parts and 1 swinging effect part, the Vulcan Pod earmuffs, the shield which can fold in and also can store 2 of the spare E-packs for the beam rifle, 4 thruster effect parts, and a bunch of hand options. And if you don't want to use the main weapons, the beam rifle and the spare bazooka cartridge can be stored on the side skirts, and the bazooka can be stored on the back skirt. From the Gundam base then, you could get some Gunpla-Kun plushies / cushions. They go for 5,500 yen each, 36 US, and the available designs are Gunpla-Kun's head, Zaku-Pla-Kun's head, or Char Zaku-Kun's head. And finally, from Gachapon machines, you could get one of these Haros for 400 yen a spin, somewhere between 2 and 3 US. The available colors are green, pink, orange, navy with moustache, yellow, sky blue, and red, and you can display them either with the arms and the legs or without the arms and the legs. On Tuesday then, Gundam Seed Freedom joined forces with Hochi Entertainment Market for a pop-up store that will be selling a lot of Gundam Seed Freedom merchandise, featuring some really cool new designs of Atheron, Kigali, Kira, Lacus, Shin, Lunamaria, and the Rising Freedom Gundam. And you can get these on acrylic stands, keychains, clear files, B2 tapestries, A5 acrylic boards, t-shirts, and even desk mats. And then just this morning, we got some more Gunpla. For 3,630 yen, 24 US, there is the BB Senshi Cosmic Era Battles of Destiny set, featuring the BB Senshi Force Impulse Gundam, Freedom Gundam, Destiny Gundam, and Strike Freedom Gundam, allowing you to replicate the biggest battles between Gundam Seed Destiny's real protagonist and fake protagonist. Then for 4,070 yen, 27 US, we have the high-grade Black Knight's Cal-re, which is a very fancy machine that tries to justify that price tag by having a lot of gold, which unfortunately isn't plated, and a lot of beam effect parts. Action base sold separately. And if that wasn't enough, we've also got 2 beam swords, a beam rifle, and a whole lot of articulation thanks to the Gundam Seed action system. And then last but not least, for 4,180 yen, 28 US, there's the figurized standard Nika Nanaura, who also comes with a lot of stuff, treachery not included. There's 2 types of sleeves, being standard plastic ones or softer rubbery ones, sitting parts, a tablet, 1 pre-printed face, 2 blank faces, water slide decals to decorate those blank faces, and 10 different hand options. And then at an unspecified date in late October, we also got some more expensive things. For 9,900 yen, 65 US, there is the Realistic Model Series G-Structure Archangel Bridge Material Color Edition, which is the cheaper version without the weathering. But it does still come with the water slide decals. And then for another 9,900 yen, 65 US, you can get the Cosmo Fleet Special Reinforced Junior RE, a more expensive re-release of the standard Cosmo Fleet Reinforced Junior, but it now comes with weathering applied to it and a set of water slide decals. And of course, it also still comes with all of the other accessories, like a stand, a beam shield, the white arc, and 3 in-scale mobile suits. As for this week's reading material, then, there was the November issue of Grand Jump Mucha, in which Gundam Rust Horizon is being serialized. The 4th volume of Rust Horizon, the Tankobon, was also released. We got the English ebook version of Gundam Forward Gundam F90 A to Z project on Amazon US, UK, Canada, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and the Netherlands. And the 3rd chapter of G Gundam Gaiden 2nd volume was released online and is linked down below. Of course, as always, do keep in mind that it is only in Japanese. On to the apparel news then, where Strict G kicked things off on Friday with some Requiem for Vengeance t-shirts. For 5,280 yen a piece, 35 US, you can get a black or white t-shirt with the main visual, the Gundam X, Solari Zaku 2, or the Gao. The black versions are available in physical Strict G stores, but the white ones are Premium Bandai Limited. One day later then, these 45th anniversary pin sets will also be hitting physical Strict G stores. For 4,400 yen, 29 US, you can get the OG Gundam set, which consists of 4 pins. The Golden Anniversary Haro, the Anniversary RX-78F00, the Federation emblem, and the Zeon emblem. Or for 5,500 yen, 36 US, there's the G Gundam set consisting of 5 pins. The G Gundam 30th Anniversary image, Domon, King of Hearts, Master Asia, and then his text thingy. Meanwhile, over at Bankore, they started with pre-orders for a blue pendant, which also comes with an acrylic stand to store it on. And it goes for 14,300 yen, 94 US. Then on Monday, pre-orders began for a bunch of hand-drawn Archangel items. You can get this quaint design on a drawstring bag for 880 yen, 6 US, a tote bag for 2,860 yen, 19 US, a pouch for 1,650 yen, 11 US, or a laundry net for 2,530 yen, 17 US. And finally today, you could get even more acrylic stands. From Silver Phantom, you could either get a big or a standard acrylic stand of the main cast, which go for 2,750 yen, 18 US, or 1,320 yen, 9 US respectively. And from Mercury, you can get a set of 8 roughly 1/144th scale mini acrylic stands for 2,200 yen, 14 US. So unlike previous sets like this, it's not one character that is available in various Gunpla scale sizes, like 1/144, 1/100, 160, and 1/48, but it's many different characters in the same 1/144th scale. I guess that's one way of telling us that we're not getting any more 1/100 scale Witch from Mercury kits. And as always, let's quickly wrap things up with the polls. Because we've entered the fall season, Gundam.info wanted to know which Gundam-related dish we would love to eat now. The soup from Kukuruzawan's Island, the steak from Hathaway's Flash, the ramen from Witch from Mercury, which also has a bunch of toppings on it, or Shin's buffet plate from Gundam Seed Freedom. And we had a pretty close top 3. With 35.2%, the ramen from Mercury won, the Freedom Buffet came in second with 32.8%, and Hathaway's Steak was third with 27.3%. So the dish that was at the bottom of my list ended up winning. I think it's a bit overkill, but Gundam.info's editor called it a balanced meal. I'm no food expert, but calling this thing a balanced meal feels kind of the same as calling a pizza a vegetable because it has tomatoes on it. Anyways, in last place with a mere 4.7%, we have Kukuru's the One's soup, which is personally a dish that I closely link to fall and winter because what goes better on a cold gray day than a nice plate of homemade soup? But that has been all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.